Music is a deeply personal medium for many people, especially the artists who create it. A person's faith is also incredibly personal to them. Ergo, it is an important source of inspiration for their music. Whatever religion a person ascribes to, it will provide a wealth of ideas and/or stories to draw from for inspiration. This does raise a few questions, one of which is whether musicians use their music as a way to spread their faith. As artists can be deeply inspired by their faith when making their music, it is a certain possibility that they will end up promoting their beliefs in that music. Two such music groups that I listen to that best exemplify this are Disciple and Skillet. These two bands balance their music between focusing on primarily Christian themes and messages about general life. Music has had an interesting relationship with Christianity over the years. Some denominations nowadays have different policies regarding music, either controlling the type of music that can be played in church or banning it in church outright. From the paper, The Place of Music in Patristics, comes many comments to help expand upon this relationship. Quote, "Music is present in the Old and the New Testament as a means of prayer, of conveying our wishes and gratitude to God." Unquote. Another source of evidence for use of hymns in the early church is present in the New Testament book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 25. Quote, "About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them." Unquote. This shows the use of singing in early church. Also, quote, "We have mentioned previously the fact that musical instruments were integrated in the music of the Judaic temple. The Christian church from the first centuries forbade their use in the cult. This marginalization is not a refusal on principle to use them, but the transition to a new spiritual state of the Christian, in which the only valuable music comes from the heart and can be sung." Unquote. This comment offers an interesting look into some of the reasoning behind churches that opposed the playing of music, that they wanted to focus only on the singing of psalms and hymns. Anything beyond this presented temptation. Important to note in these examples is that they regard music meant to be played in church for the worship of God, not simply music with Christian themes or music made by Christian artists. There are many Christian bands, but there are a few that are particularly interesting as they are from genres that are not traditionally associated with Christianity. In this case, hard rock and metal. The first of the two bands that I will be using as an example is Skillet. Skillet is a Christian rock band formed in 1996 in Memphis, Tennessee. Their song, Monster, was a certified 2-time platinum record winner by the Recording Industry Association of America, meaning that the single sold 4 million units. It was the #1 streaming Christian song of 2015, and was the #8 streaming rock song of 2015. The band is currently made up of frontman John Cooper on bass and lead vocals, Corey Cooper on guitar and keyboard, Seth Morrison on lead guitar, and Jen Ledger on drums and co-lead vocals. In an interview with Cryptic Rock, Corey Cooper discusses the intentions of the band for their music. Quote, "Ultimately, we want to make a positive impact in the world while we are here, while we're doing this. Music has such a power in of itself, and if you can steer that with the things you have to say, and the love you have for people, your fans pick up on that." Unquote. And, quote, "We don't want to just exclusively sing to Christian people. We want our music to resonate with all sorts of people. So we have fans that are atheists, we have fans that are Muslim, we have fans that are Jewish. We don't want our music to be polarizing, and we don't want our lyrics polarizing. But there is a positive message in the way we view life that I think comes across in our music." Unquote. The first song, which is a clear example of this kind of messaging, is Refuge from the Dominion album. The song begins by talking about how bleak reality can seem, and they even sneak in a reference to one of their older songs, Undefeated. Then, in the words, quote, "In my hurt I don't know how, but I know I'm not alone," unquote, John Cooper describes feeling a kind of comfort in the knowledge that he is not alone. As we find out later in the song, he is singing about how God is with him and acts as his refuge in times of distress. The lyrics send a powerful message, quote, "I can face my darkest night, because I trust you with my life. I'm not afraid, for you are my refuge," unquote. You can see that this is one of Skillet's most obvious songs praising God, but it would be an attractive message to most people. Today, people look for comfort everywhere they can find it. If a non-religious listener hears this song, this will just act as encouragement to explore the Christian faith. This is probably not intentional evangelism. Based off the interview with Corey, the band seems to want to spread their positive message through their music themes. Whispers in the Dark from the Comatose album features a similar message to refuge. As seen in a number of lyrics throughout the song, quote, "Despite the lies that you're making, your love is mine for the taking. I will be the one that's going to hold you. I will be the one that you run to. No, you'll never be alone. When darkness comes, you know I'm never far." Unquote. The song is about a strong bond of unconditional love. Given a knowledge of Christian belief, the one giving the all-consuming love is God. The song is meant to resonate with a Christian audience as a comforting song about the relationship with God that is the cornerstone of the faith. The song acts as an expression of the band's feelings and hopefulness. To a non-Christian listener, it is still a beautiful song about love and a powerful relationship. Again, we see a possibility for evangelism in this song. Someone who listens to Skillet just for the music might feel drawn to investigate the Christian faith to learn more about this experience. The lines, quote, "My love is a burning, consuming fire," unquote, are going to affect people as they take words that generally have a negative connotation, but associate them with a powerful love. The second band that I will be using as an example is Disciple. Disciple is a Christian metal band which was formed in December 1992 in Knoxville, Tennessee. I suppose I'm a bit biased as to where these bands are based in. They have won Rock Album of the Year at the Gospel Music Association Dove Awards in 2008 and 2011. The band is made up of Kevin Young on lead vocals, acoustic guitar, and bass, Andrew Stanton on lead guitar and backup vocals, Josiah Prince on rhythm guitar and piano, and Joey West on drums. Like Skillet, their music has focused on many positive and serious themes, including addiction, suicide, and feeling like an outsider. In an interview with Jake Frederick for New Release Today, Kevin Young spoke about the methods and thought processes that go into writing Disciples' songs. Quote, "There are moments where we have good ideas that could be a good song, but most of the time, it's what we're thinking about at the time and what we're going through at the time." Unquote. Also, quote, "When Attack happened in 2014, we went through a spell where we felt like we were muffled a little bit as to how bold as Christians we could be. We wanted to break through that and say some things that we didn't feel like we had the freedom to say before becoming an independent artist. In this new album, we're talking about some things that we want to talk about as well. Our mission is always the same. We're basically evangelists, but not every song is evangelistic." Unquote. The first example from Disciple is the song Radical from the Attack album. Disciple at once sets a clear tone with the lines, quote, "It's easy to find one that will compromise, but it's not easy to find one that's willing to stand. The road to hell is wide, but to heaven it's a one way, one truth, one life." Unquote. To Disciple, to truly live a Christian life is to live as a radical, standing unmoving against the pressure to give up living a Christian lifestyle. Soon after, the reason for this devotion is made obvious in the lines, quote, "I've been radically loved, I've been radically changed. By His grace I have been radically saved." Unquote. This refers to the salvific story of Jesus Christ, which is the backbone of Christianity. Ergo, this song would definitely resonate stronger with Christian listeners, but the powerful language used in the song could bring more people towards Christianity. Given the words of Kevin Young in his interview, this song seems like one that could easily be used to evangelize and draw people in with his own devotion as an example. The next song by Disciple is Scarlet from the Attack album. The song begins with a powerful praise of God, which would seem more at home from a worship song. Quote, "When I think of all you are, I have no words. For your greatness it outshines 1,000 suns." Unquote. The next few points set up the main theme of the song. Quote, "Though my sins they be as scarlet, though my hands have been an enemy of God's, though my heart has played the harlot." Unquote. Kevin Young clearly outlines how he feels undeserving of the love and forgiveness he receives from his relationship with God. According to Christian teachings, everyone has sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, from the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 23. But Kevin describes being forgiven through powerful imagery in the lines, quote, "You gave me more than I deserve when you washed my whole world as white as snow," unquote, and, quote, "Leave me drowning in the flood, the ocean of your blood," unquote. To one who is unfamiliar with Christian teachings, these words can be quite shocking, drowning in a flood of blood. Christians, however, believe that Jesus Christ died so that they might be forgiven for their sins, ergo their sin is washed clean by his blood. And to drown in an ocean of that blood, viewed through this context, would symbolize overwhelming forgiveness. Given the shocking imagery, this song is likely meant to be a song of praise and giving glory to God, but non-religious people might still be drawn to the faith through it. There were two main concepts that shaped my research and how I went about the project. I decided to look at the music and artists through substantive and functional viewpoints, letting me see what they provide and what their music is made up of. What is the music made up of? What does their music provide? Who is the band made up of? And what do their beliefs contribute to the music they make? I think those two concepts have stuck with me the best over the course of this class. I believe that this is an example of religion in pop culture. The music itself is not inherently religious. The religion is added to the music from the faith of the artists. The songs are made to explore religious themes and to give the artists an outlet for their emotions and inspirations, which can include their religion. So what? This way of looking at how religious faith inspires artists and in turn inspires them to either consciously or unconsciously attempt to spread their faith through their music can be used to examine contemporary artists. It can act as a lens through which to examine not just music, but also other forms of media. This process of examining evangelizing influence in media could be helpful for studying religious influences in pop culture. Is the media in question meant to evangelize? If so, how is the media meant to do this? What religion or belief system is the media trying to spread? What influences might this have on pop culture and society at large? These questions brought up in this process are good ones to be able to answer. These practical applications for this process should be explored and further developed in the future. Finally, I would like to thank you for a good class experience this spring semester, and I wish you a good and enjoyable summer. Thank you.